everybody. It's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario, November 9th, Sunday, November 9th. Hopefully everybody's having a nice evening before the week begins. A little quiet on the political front in Canada. The watch for Pierre, a little quiet today. No rumblings from the Conservative Party, but the budget's coming up. The budget vote's coming up this week or next week. So it should be lots of intrigue to see what happens with the budget, to see if it ends up passing, which it will, and whether it's what combination of votes passes it. I think that NDP will support it, but you never know if any more Conservatives will go over. Hard to say if it's just gossip or like liberal smearing of Pierre, or if there's like more gonna go over. I don't know. But yeah, the budget should be interesting. I see today we have snow here in Sarnia, so it should be hopefully not too scary on the roads. I mean, we had enough accidents without the snow, so hopefully it's not a long crash-filled winter. You never know, might not be. And then so yeah, that's what we're going to look for next week, is the budget and how Pierre's doing, if he shores up the party, or if things are as bad as the liberal press wants us to believe. And also, that's the thing we're going to be watching for right now, Sunday night. So let's just go to the news. Today in Sarnia, we had a little, I think it was interesting in Sarnia. There's a lot of talk in this, on the internet about the woke right and Israel first, America first. A lot of that debate's going on down in the U.S. about, can you criticize Israel, or will you get your career destroyed or for doing it, or even go to jail now. And it's kind of reached Sarnia in a weird way. And the reason I say it is because basically it's like you have to support Israel if you're on the right wing. If you have to support Israel, or else you're excommunicated. That's the message I think they're trying to send with this woke right business. So anyway, in Sarnia, we have a little woke right controversy. So basically, Yves Engler, this is what the situation in Sarnia is. It's got a lot of angles to it. Free speech, hate speech, anti-Semitism, anti-Israel, Remembrance Day, hypocrisy. It's got everything. So Bill Dennis, who's a councillor here in Sarnia, who's been the target of a lot of cancel efforts for him to get cancelled by the commies here in Sarnia. He said basically Yves Engler, who's this really, he's really not popular, but he's a regular on the protest circuit, the pro-Palestinian protest circuit, and he's running for NDP leadership. He's a fringe candidate. He ain't gonna win, okay? And he's coming to Sarnia, and they rented a room at the Clearwater Arena or something, one of the arenas. So you can go rent a room, like, for a public meeting. And Bill was saying, let's see what Bill says. We're just made aware that the city booked an extreme anti-Semite to speak at a political rally on of all days, Remembrance Day. I'm demanding that they cancel this event. This is a complete embarrassment to Sarnia. So I had to disagree with Bill on that one because it's like the whole cancel culture thing. Yeah, they did it to us, but I don't want to go down that road. But the only reason everybody's all in this an uproar, I think, is because this letter from some Jewish group. I don't even know, never heard of them before. Canadian Anti-Semitism Education Foundation. Yeah, okay. So he's been going after this Engler guy, I guess. Like, I don't think Engler's an anti-Semite, not like they're saying. I think he's just anti-Israel, anti-whatever, pro-Gaza, whatever. But, so basically he says, Dear Mayor and Councillors, it's come to our attention that Yves Engler, a federal NDP leadership candidate, has booked use of City of Sarnia space for a political rally to take place at Clearwater Arena on November 11th. Mr. Engler is a notorious anti-Semite, and the City of Sarnia has no business renting out space to platform his hatred of Jews. See the email chain below for details. So basically it's this Jewish group who's telling the City of Sarnia who they can rent their space out. That's the problem I have. And it's the whole woke right. They want to cancel people, just like the left people canceled you for saying the transgender shit is mental illness. You got canceled for that. They want to cancel you for protesting against Israel. It's the same shit. So they're basically saying he's an anti-Semite. I think he's a crazy commie. But, let him talk, because when he talks, he just makes himself look dumb. But they're saying he's this anti-Semite, you got to cancel the... It's like, I don't like this group. Never heard of this group. It's going to tell City of Sarnia what they can and cannot do. Now, City of Sarnia is full of commies, and they would probably they wouldn't rent it to a conservative guy, which is horrible. It's hypocrisy, double standard. So I think if they're going to rent the room to NDP, they should rent, but they should rent it to a nationalist or a right-wing person if they wanted to rent the room. But they probably wouldn't. But that's another issue. But these guys are threatening. Listen, you should listen to this. So they call him an anti-Semite. If you let this meeting proceed, it will get very awkward. I'm pretty good at freedom of information requests. Don't be like the City of Burnaby, BC. City of Burnaby Recreation Officer Monica Douglas and the City of Burnaby are about to become very famous overnight. So it's like they're basically threatening to get people in trouble or fired. That's kind of woke cancel culture. It sounds like it to me. Also, see below and attach a letter we sent to the St. Paul's Anglican Church in Toronto. St. Paul's Church did the right thing and canceled Mr. Engler's booking once they found out who he was and what he stands for. Okay. So basically they're copying the major national Jewish organizations in Canada, Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Sarnia Lambton MPP Bob Bailey, as well as about 24 journalists, including Sarnia Observer Michael Tepper, President, Anti-Semitism Education Fund. This guy's crazy. He's really got a lot of time on his hands to go after Yves Engler. Like, Yves Engler's not even going to get 10 votes for this NDP thing. So, it's totally... I don't like Yves Engler. I don't like Nathan Colquhoun. I don't like any of these commies. But if they want to rent a room, to talk about the NDP leadership race, why wouldn't, what are you going to do? You want fairness too. You want any group to be able to do that. You want everybody to be treated fair. I know Bill mentioned the City of Sarnia wouldn't let Christian Heritage Party put ads on the buses, and that's BS. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. If the city's going to do that, they should ban all parties, not just one party. So like I'm for fairness and treating, again, everybody a chance to speak, even the crazy commies, because they make themselves sound stupid anyway. But I'm against some outside whatever group, who knows who funds this group, coming in and telling us who we can and can't platform in Sarnia. Like, as far as I know, Mr. Engler hasn't committed any crimes. The NDP is a national party. Obviously, November 11th, maybe it's a little tone deaf, but the city is open. It's not a bank. It's a bank holiday because it's a federally regulated industry, banks. But the city itself is open, I believe. I could be wrong, but I don't think it. I think it is. The mall's open, all that. So, should they have had it on November 11th? Probably not. But just if that's what commies do, they don't care. So, another thing that bugs me about this, it just bugs me. People, see, I'm not worried about Yves Engler. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about what I see in Sarnia and I see in Ontario is us being taken over by third world, like mass immigration. That's, for me, that's a bigger problem than Yves Engler and some stupid meeting at the Clearwater Arena. And it seems conservatives get more worked up over stupid things like this because some anti-Semitism group tells us to get worked up over it. And, I think it's weird. It's funny how I've been watching this woke right thing on the X for the last 2-3 weeks now. Oh my gosh. Well, a few months, what am I talking about? But it's gotten even more intense in the last 2-3 weeks. So it's funny to see it in Sarnia, like play it out actually in Sarnia. This is kind of our version of the woke right going after this Yves Engler guy. But it's like, I don't like Yves Engler because he's a commie who wants to destroy Canada. I don't think he's anti-Semitic. But I don't like him because he's a commie, not because what they say that he's anti-Semitic. But that's what they tell you to think. But everybody wants to cancel this meeting. But we got to think, like, if a conservative comes to Sarnia, we don't want them to say, oh well, we're going to cancel him. We don't. They'll still try and cancel him. But at least we can say, you can't, you let this guy come in and he's controversial. So, there's that fairness aspect. But yeah, it should be interesting. So maybe people will show up to his meeting and counter protest like the left wing did to Max Bernier when he came here. So go for it, I say. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Yves Engler. This is probably the most publicity he'll get out of the whole NDP leadership race. But they're going around to different locations and they're threatening them to, like, if you don't cancel this event, there's going to be consequences. Like, he basically said that in the letter. I'm going to just look at it one more time and then go on to the next. Yeah, this letter kind of pissed me off a little because it's like, we're seeing in the States this concerted effort to shut people up. So it's like, if you let this meeting proceed, it will get very awkward. That sounds like a threat to me. It's like, all right. So November 11th, that's Tuesday. I'm pretty sure that maybe I'll go check it out. Why not? I don't even know what time it is. Hopefully it's not at 11 o'clock. It just says November 11th. Anyway, yeah, maybe we'll have some live coverage or some local coverage of that event. I mean, he's not going to win anything, this guy. Even if he wins, it's the NDP. But he ain't going to win that. Even the NDP's garbage, but he won't win. He won't come close to winning anything with the NDP as for the leadership there. Okay. So yeah, some local politics. All right. This is the winter one. After a summer of carnage on our roads by foreign truckers who should never have been behind the wheel, I'm worried about what will happen in wintertime. Scenes like this won't be rare, is my bet. It already started. Look at that. Yeah, well, it started today, the snow, so we'll find out soon. But there's a lot of bad drivers, man. A lot of bad drivers. And why is that? Is it because of the mass immigration? I think it is, but I'm sure the insurance, what are those called? What are those guys called in the insurance industry? Damn it, I know it. Anyway, they look at all the numbers, and I'm pretty sure they can tell us if it's third world immigration, third world Canada. Look at this guy. One charged, one outstanding following 2 extortion-related shootings in Caledon and Brampton. I don't remember ever having all these extortion related shootings in Canada 10 years ago. I don't even remember this. What happened? Iqbal Bagria. All right. Let's see this. Police are calling 2 extortion-related shootings in Peel region. 2 suspects in a silver BMW attended a residence in that area. Okay. Surveillance footage showed one of them an accelerant on the driveway and igniting a fire. Both suspects then fired several rounds at the residence. A short time later, the same 2 suspects allegedly attended a business near Dixie Road and Advance Boulevard. Police say the surveillance footage from that area showed a suspect firing several rounds towards the business. Okay. So I thought they shot somebody, but they just shot at buildings. What is that, shooting at buildings? What's the deal with that? But yeah, a lot of extortion going on in the Indian community, it seems. All right. Next one. This is what I'm talking about. In the States, we're talking about the woke right, and can't criticize Israel, all this, whatever. And this kind of stuck in my craw, and it's kind of like this anti-Semitism group telling the Sarnia people what to do, threatening the Sarnia people, city of Sarnia. So ADL, which is the Anti-Defamation League, which is like a Jewish anti-Semitism group. So ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt claims the organization is gradually gaining influence over social media algorithms, saying it will take time, but eventually it will all happen. He says he wants to control which sources AI can use and insists that fixing the problem of social media means acting early and pushing companies to do the right thing. Greenblatt criticizes platforms like X and Instagram for harming public discourse. So it's kind of like what that group was doing to the city of Sarnia, but on a bigger scale. They want to basically control any criticism of Israel, even in Sarnia, which is hilarious. And yeah, it's coming. The big battle's coming. But judging by my X and my Facebook, I'm pretty well shadow banned already, I think. Oh well, I don't care. All right. Next. A new poll reveals nearly half of Canadians still hold a negative view on immigration, and they trust the Conservative Party most to fix the system. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I think we're screwed on the immigration thing. These traitor politicians from both parties are responsible for flooding Canada with third world migrants. Neither of the parties are going to fix anything. They're not. And we can't vote because you're voting for the same people who destroyed everything. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. Maybe it's too late. I don't know. Because, the demographics and the immigration numbers that they're going to keep pushing through, not looking good. I don't know. But nearly half a negative view of immigration. So do you really think Pierre is going to fix it? I mean, not too long ago they were saying anybody from anywhere can do anything in Canada, and whether your name's Patel or Mohammed or all that. So they were just saying no deportations, yes to more flights from Amritsar, and then they're saying they're against immigration. So hard, it's like they're a pressure release valve on the off election years, just to say, okay, well, this is the way for Canadians to complain about immigration without anything actually getting done, because they're not the party in power. So yeah, that's a release valve, like when they say they trust the Conservative Party most to fix the system. Well, A, they're not going to fix it, and B, they're not in power anyway. So there's your release valve. Juno News taking part in that. Such a scam. All right. This is what we want to import. This is what we want to import to Canada. The poop. This guy, he did the poop. He's a YouTuber, went to India, to this one village in India, I guess, does this poop festival where they throw cow manure at each other. And he got a bunch of threats because they figured out he's there not to ridicule them. He wasn't there to absorb their culture. But I was like, man, you smell the poop through the phone. If you have a chance to watch it, it's hilarious. He's pretty good too. He's pretty funny in this. But yeah, I don't know what their obsession with cow dung. They love that cow dung. What's next? Right-wing protesters get treated like terrorists, while Singhs who smuggle pounds and pounds of cocaine into Canada get bail the very next day in Alberta. Yeah, this is. I live in Sarnia, by the blue. We have the Blue Water Bridge here, and just the other day, two guys, Singh, got busted for meth. Like, they had a whole whack of meth in their truck. And, lots of guys, like, there's always a report in Sarnia of truckers getting nabbed, and they're always the last name Singh. But yeah, he's right here. If you're a right-wing Canadian who's against immigration, they target you. But if you're an Indian smuggling millions of dollars worth of drugs, you get bail. Yeah.
Must remain within Alberta and surrender his passport.
The level of corruption and criminality.
The Singh from Calgary was granted bail for free and released the very next day after being caught with 170 pounds of cocaine. Sarsh Singh Salaria, a commercial truck driver, was caught with 170 pounds of cocaine.
That's a lot of cocaine.
Attempting to cross from Montana into Alberta at the Sweetgrass Coots border crossing on September 25th, 2025.
And they're all coming from the States into Canada. So Donald Trump can't say we
announced the arrest, which then made international headlines. But one crucial detail was missing, and the mainstream media never looked beyond the government's press release. We exclusively obtained Salaria's record of proceedings, revealing that a justice of the peace appointed by the government of Alberta granted bail the very next day to Serge Singh Salaria, and for $0 in
What?
cash. Instead, he promised to pay $5,000 should he violate his very lax bail conditions. Singh is prohibited from using drugs.
Okay,
Must report to a
you get the
probation
point.
officer.
Yeah, it's like literally in like other countries, like in Thailand, they would shoot you for doing that, or hang you or whatever. Here we give them $0 bail. It's ridiculous. It's like they want us to drown in drug addiction and criminality. Here's this guy. Yasser Mohammed has been arrested and faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, in relation to a homicide in July of 2023. Mohammed Abdullah is still wanted for first-degree murder. Good old Canadian boys. That's what we're bringing into Canada. It's ridiculous. UK's got a bigger problem, but it's because it's closer. They can make a land journey from like Libya into Europe, and then from Europe take the boat across to UK. But we're still getting some third world trash in Canada. Good old Canadian boys. Oh, they're Canadians. Oh. All right. Next, Doug Ford knew last February what we know now, that Ontario's economy is tanking, which is why he triggered an early election to get ahead of the bad news in this week's fall economic statement, my weekend column. What is that, Toronto Star? Whatever, yeah. I totally agree with that. So, it's been 6 months since the election, and he called it a year and a half ahead of time, so I'm sure we're heading right into the shit storm in Ontario. Economic shit. He said he wanted to fight election to protect Ontario from Trump. He's been a little quiet lately, Doug Ford. Interesting. Very quiet. He's probably just taking the weekend off. All right. This is interesting. And this is Doug Ford's Ontario. Not Kathleen Wynne, Doug Ford's. Barrie Elementary School yearbook included an elementary school, not a high school, elementary school. Included 24 different pride-related flags, including Bear Brotherhood, a subculture within the LGBTQ plus community, primarily for gay and bisexual men who are characterized as larger, hairier, and embodying a more rugged masculinity. They got a category for everything in this thing. Unbelievable. Let's see.
To parents from across this country, watch what they're teaching your children. This is about what is appropriate. Parents, mothers, and fathers, tell me, is this appropriate to be including all of this in
Doug
an
Ford's
elementary
Ontario.
school yearbook? Your kids will come back after school and ask you, Mommy, Daddy, what is the Bear Brotherhood? Let me explain this to you. It's a beefy, hirsute, gay subculture. I had to go research this. I never heard of this before. Hirsute is hairy. So beefy, hairy, gay subculture. Or maybe they'll ask you, Mommy, Daddy, what are BDSM rights? What is that? But even better, what is leather pride? Or what is rubber pride? Rubber and latex fetish subculture. Thankfully, the parents of that Simcoe, Ontario elementary school raised all hell. They took that out from the yearbook. But this is a warning and a PSA to parents from across this country. Watch what they're teaching your children. This is about what is appropriate. They're just shoving this stuff down their throats in every opportunity. It's not appropriate. Obviously, some of these flags I didn't even know existed, and it's totally inappropriate. Elementary school children are learning this. And again, we support you. You're an adult. You want to be part of the Bear Brotherhood. By all means, have a blast. But this is about what is appropriate. And this is the stuff that I want all parents to be watching for. And as parents, we need to be vocal about these issues. We have the right to have a perspective on what is appropriate for our kids to be learning. These are our children. These are our daughters, not the teachers. It's not the school boards. These are our children. And we deserve and have the right to have a perspective about what is appropriate for them.
Right.
And I think for millions of common sense people across the world, I think they would say this stuff in an elementary school yearbook is totally inappropriate.
Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take, you don't need a degree in rocket science to know that none of this stuff should be in the schools, especially elementary schools. Like, I have a big beef with my kids' school. They got the trans pride rainbow stickers on every classroom door. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that's just on the classroom door. As you walk down the hall, you can see it. Who knows what they have going on in the class? And I said, this is on Doug Ford's Ontario. He's in charge of education. He has a majority for 8 years now. He could end this overnight, but he doesn't have the balls to do it because he's a globalist traitor, stooge. And I said, it's bad, Ontario. Like I want to get my kids out of there. It's a Marxist school system in Ontario under Doug Ford. If they spend all their time and resources teaching our kids to accept the mentally ill trans agenda, but they give zero effort to talk about like tolerance and empathy towards autistic kids. Nothing for autistic kids, who are actually more likely to be at the school than who are actually at the school, not more likely. I feel like ripping all those commie rainbow stickers off of every classroom door, but then I'd go to jail. I wouldn't get bail either. It'd be a hate crime. But yeah, they have no place in elementary schools in Ontario, any of this stuff. It's not complicated. So, but that's Doug Ford's Ontario, Bob Bailey too. They support that stuff. Here, I saw this post here by John Paul Berg. It's good. I liked it. He said, Canada, political parties are not hockey teams. We must scrutinize our public servants, not worship them. Your party leader should primarily be criticized by you, especially if their conduct merits criticism. We have this ecosystem online where the extent of political discourse consists of juvenile diatribes, vulgar admonishments. Everyone remains loyal to their team and chaos ensues. We are getting nowhere fast. There's a preponderance of disingenuous shills claiming to be independent journalists, influencers, yet all they do is culture war, grift, and worship their party leader. So basically, it's against all these. I think he's talking about the Pierre shills, like Truck Driver Pleb and Mario and that Jingle Hay and Cat Canada, and basically, and there's a few other ones, but yeah, they just let Pierre get away with, we need to support Pierre because the Liberals, we got to get the Liberals out, instead of actually pressing Pierre to give us a platform we can actually support, So, yeah, I agree with them. The conservative influencers are not doing us any favors in Canada. Look what happened with Pierre. I thought this was interesting too. I don't know where this is. Where is it? There's things are so bad now in Ontario with the justice system because, pedophiles and rapists and murderers and drug smugglers get out of jail right away. Now they're doing St. Catharines, vigilante squads maybe. What is this? This is Rob Primo.
Show up every weekend. Catherine, standing on a public sidewalk, okay? The reason we're here is we want to let the community know what's going on. Be careful where you spend your dollar. You wouldn't want to spend your money at a restaurant that was charged for luring children, okay? You don't want to do things like that. Where you put your money matters, okay? Because it props up these people to continue doing what they're doing. So we're here again this weekend. We're going to continue to show up every weekend. The collective of men keeps growing every weekend. And if you're a pedophile,
It's a vigilante
I
squad.
think you got a serious fucking problem on your hands right now. Go ahead, Ray.
So, as the community, we keep growing and growing and growing, and we're not going anywhere. Today we showed up in St. Catharines on Church Street with this local pedophiles that live in this area. We have more than one that lives in this area, and it is absolutely disgusting that they are able to walk so freely amongst all the women and children in here. Not only is there a huge homelessness and drug problem in this area that everybody is fully aware of, it is allowed to continue to go on and on and on. Our government isn't here to help us, and that's what people need to start understanding. They are causing more issues than what anything is happening, and that's why we as a collective are getting together to let everybody know that we've had enough. We're going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to show up at every pedophile's houses. We're going to start going to the
Vigilante.
We're going to start going to the MP offices. We're going to start going to those judges who are saying
The judges,
they
yeah.
want to protect the children, because we need to start going to the top of the chain here, because that is where it belongs.
Sorry, the audio's not that great. So that's in St. Catharines. So regulars on the protest circuit, Rob Primo and Bam Bam, outlined their new campaign focus on crimes against children. Our government isn't here to help us, and that's what people need to start understanding. This demonstration is against a local restaurateur convicted of child luring during a sting operation. They pledge to keep showing up, whether at pedophiles' homes, school boards, constituency offices, or to judges. So basically, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be good for business. Having a vigilante mob outside your restaurant. But the thing is, the reason they're doing this is because they know the court system's not going to help them. The court system's not going to protect children. The police can't protect children. The government can't protect children. You know, because they give the criminals more rights than the victims, and they keep bringing in criminals by the boatload. So these guys are going to become vigilantes. I'm not against it. It's unfortunate, but I think it's gonna get, the vigilante thing is gonna grow, because the cops are leaving, the cops and the courts, because they're so overwhelmed, they're leaving a vacuum, and the vacuum has to be filled by something, either vigilantes or criminals, one or the other. I'd rather have the vigilantes. Maybe the police can deputize them. No, they won't. They should. Okay. All right. Canadian provincial governments don't want to fix anything, as they let criminals run free instead of jailing or deporting them. So now we have vigilante squads. Yes. Like those truck drivers that aren't Canadian, they should be deported the next day. Any of these immigrants, tons of them, they should be gone. Like as soon as they commit like a crime, especially drug smuggling or like home invasion, like anything horribly violent, they should be gone the next day. But that doesn't happen here. All right. This is another thing in BC. Is this Cal? Oh, God, I hate these guys. Cal Stan. This happened in BC, Abbotsford, BC. Indian disputes on Canadian soil promoting violence. Sick of it. They have to go back. Yeah. Such ridiculous, man. Why would we bring this to Canada? This is what I'm more worried about. I'm not worried about Yves Engler coming to Sarnia. I'm worried about this shit flooding our country. And they vote. That's the problem. They vote. They're going to outvote us in no time. These guys. These dudes. You get the picture. They're everywhere, though. It's like, why are we turning Canada to India? It's not a hateful question. It's a good question. It's a valid question. All right. Here's another one. Let's see this. Look at this guy.
Also getting a warning from police looking for help finding a man on a Canada-wide warrant.
Hold on.
Reaching statutory release. They are looking for 30. Also getting a warning from police looking for help finding a man on a Canada-wide warrant for breaching statutory release. They are looking for 38-year-old Zalami Alemu, who is serving a sentence of 2 years for multiple offenses, including assault with a weapon and assault causing bodily harm. He is described as 5'6", black hair, brown eyes, and a beard. Police say Alemu is known to frequent the GTA. If anyone has information, they're urged to contact the Provincial Rope Squad, Crime Stoppers, or call 911.
Yeah, we should deport him. Or they say, oh, how do you know he's not Canadian? Oh, pretty sure he's not Canadian, okay. But this is the thing, like, people, when you have these guys committing crimes, and they overwhelm the court system. And Doug Ford, I know in Ontario, hasn't kept up at all with the court system. It's gotten further and further behind. It's a mess. And it's to the point where criminals know in Ontario that if they have a decent lawyer, and if they get pinched, first of all, because the cops don't even show up until after the crime now, which is, they can't be everywhere, but if they get pinched, they know if they have a good lawyer, they'll probably ride out the charge and get it pled down to some retarded minor offense, or get it thrown out because it took so long, or if by some chance they get convicted after like 4 years, they'll probably do like not even like 6 months or something. Like, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. And they know it. They know the worst case scenario is they'll do a little time. They won't get deported. They'll do a little time, and then they'll be back out. So, how do you fix that? Yeah, and once it's open season on law-abiding citizens, because the criminals know they're not going to have the consequences. It's just a downward spiral. But yeah, we got big problems in Canada. And Yves Engler is the least of them, to be quite honest. Anyway, we'll see Tuesday how that meeting goes. I might have to go check it out. Remembrance Day. So, until then, we'll see what happens with the upcoming budget vote, with if any more peer drama and the Conservative drama, and if there's a riot at this Yves Engler meeting. It should be funny. So the next broadcast will be November 12th, the day after Remembrance Day. So should be lots of stuff to talk about by then. So until then, enjoy, or the weekend's over, so have a nice night and try to stay safe on those roads. All right.